Hello and welcome to Blind Contour Drawing. My name is Eric, and today we're going to be talking about doing a blind contour of our hand. What does that mean? What is a blind contour? Well, a contour drawing is basically an outline drawing. You can also have a cross contour drawing where you're going to have more internal lines describing more of the texture, volume, and mass of the object rather than just the bounding line. And we are going to be attempting, I'm trying to get some of this internal detail with our contour drawing today. Now, a blind contour means that once I start drawing, I will not be looking at my page at all. And I am going to try my best to stay true to this. What that means is that your drawing is going to look fairly odd, and that's okay. We are not really as interested in the final product of this drawing, although sometimes they can turn out very interesting. When you don't plan, when you don't overwork things, sometimes there's serendipitous things that happen. Very nice. So the goal here is I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to put it in an odd perspective, some sort of a contorted thing here, something I can hold for a few minutes. And then I'm going to be drawing here. I'm going to be using a continuous line weight. And a continuous line, which means I'm never going to pick up the pencil. If I were to pick up the pencil, I would lose where I'm at even more dramatically than if I'm trying to just get this placed with that continuous line. And you'll notice that things get a little bit odd, but that's okay. So our sketchbook is fairly small, and you are going to be having to do a number of these on one page. So things are going to overlap, and that's okay. But make sure we're in frame here. And here we go. So I'm going to be starting at one side of my hand. And as I'm moving my pencil, I'm trying to move my pencil at the same pace that my eye is moving through the space. And right now I'm sort of on the meaty left side, building up to my thumb. There's a lot of skin folds there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the thumb, and then I'm going to come back down for the rest of that space. But once again, I'm trying to move my hand the same pace that I'm moving my eye. There's a fingernail of sorts. Come back to the front. Okay, so now I'm working on the front side of the thumb. There's some good breaks here. Back down. Now there's kind of a big section here that sort of breaks back up into the palm. Sometimes I don't like going all the way into those sections because I can lose myself more often or more dramatically. But it doesn't really matter. Once again, the final product of these drawings is less important. What we are attempting to do is strengthen our hand-eye coordination. Attempting to, without looking, draw what I think I'm seeing. I'm sure there's already some oddities and things that are already looking pretty weird. Okay, moving on to my middle finger. I'm gonna do this full drawing just to get an idea of how I pace through it. The assignment is to spend 10 minutes on 4 different drawings. What I see a lot of sometimes is that sort of 3rd grade turkey, where people come in and try and just draw the outside bounding lines of the hand, and they're done within a few seconds. So we don't want that. We want to be moving slowly and accurately through the space, even if my drawing turns out super goofy. Well, I don't know. I haven't had any slips yet. Sometimes I get too heavy-handed, and then I lose my space, and I really don't want to look back at it yet because there is some validity to that. Really trying to keep it blind. Okay, so we're getting close. We got the fingers. We do have some palm details here. This is coming up to about there. There's some other break-offs here. This is sort of the important part, guys, rather than just looking at the, once again, outside bounding marks. I'm really trying to come in and get as much of this space rendered as possible. And then there's one big one somewhere centralized here. Sort of end, sort of somewhere in there. And then maybe I can make it back down where the wrist is somewhere. I don't want to build too far up. I feel like I might be making a mess here. Okay, we're gonna call it. Hey, all right, actually not so bad. So obviously some of the proportions are a little bit odd here. See if I can get out of the way so you can see a little bit better. Not a perfect drawing, but not bad. It was a sort of simplistic, my hand was sort of starting to cramp, so it sort of flattened out more than, it sort of started more like this, and I kind of think it ended more like that. I think the next one I'm going to do is more of a balled up fist or something from a different angle. One thing that's good about this is that you can sort of just turn your drawing, and then you can start drawing again. I'm going to do a little bit of a faster representation here. Maybe I'll hold my hand sort of like this. So I have one here, and I'm going to start a second one. You can use the same mediums. You'll notice I used a mechanical pencil for the first. You can use your drawing pencils. You can use a mechanical pencil. You can use a pen. You could experiment. You could use a marker. It is open medium for these blind contour drawings. Right, let's do one more. So, try to get this little bear paw thing going here. I'm going to start. I'm going to try this one with a pen just to see what happens. It might look a little bit more interesting. Maybe I'll place it somewhere over here. A little bit more space over there, so I'll put my hand down a little bit lower. Okay, let's try one more time, real quick. So, starting from the wrist and moving. This is just a cheap ballpoint pen. One thing I like about the ballpoint pen though is that you get a fairly consistent, don't get lost, line weight throughout. Sometimes you'll get sort of a deviation of line, and that's due to the ball in the ballpoint. But you can kind of play with pressure the same way you would with graphite, with a pen. It's good to experiment. Different mediums. So I can already tell this is sort of a weird perspective for me. I'm trying to focus on these knuckles, pushing back into the space. I can see, going too quick. See this internal space there. And guys, it's good after one drawing to take a break for a whole minute and go back into it. I'm actually getting a little bit, my eyes are starting to mess with me a little bit. Sometimes when you focus for an extended period of time, it's hard to stay focused. But take small breaks. That's good. Okay, come back down. Here we go. Now we'll get some nice folds on this thumb. Keep in mind, guys, I'm trying to not pick up my hand at all, totally. When I'm drawing, I am attempting to not look at this drawing as I'm going. So once again, a blind contour. I'm sure even more on this one. Some of my perspective and proportions are a little bit odd. Okay, so I made it all the way around, but I still have some detail I want to break into. I'm going to try and get some of these veins. I feel like I'm getting all veiny holding my hand all weird. So we're going to try and get some knuckles. And once again, I'm sure that some of these knuckles are not placed perfectly. I'm not too worried about that. There's a nice vein coming this way. Let me bring it back up. So once again, I'm trying to get internal details. If I see something, I'm going to try and render it. Even if bringing a line into it is sort of odd. Okay, we're going to call it there. Okay, yeah, I would definitely say my first one was more successful than my second one. My second one's a little bit odd, but that's okay. I'm attempting to get 4 drawings on this page. You can turn it, you can rotate it, you can do whatever you want. The overlapping of elements will be interesting. Already, I think this drawing is turning out okay. I'm going to attempt to do 2 more, maybe in different mediums, maybe in the same mediums, who knows. But have some fun. If you have some spare mediums sitting around, you want to try something a little bit weird. Blind contours, remember, once you start, you should be focusing on the subject matter, only on your hand. Do not look at your drawing.